1100 WSGI. I'm U-Turn LaVern, and this is One Street Over. Getting to it this morning on Monday. We've had a week of snowmageddon. Oh my goodness, how in the world are y'all doing? I've got so many friends out there that have not left their house. I guess they finally did venture out yesterday, but the thing that they found yesterday, I saw all kinds of social media posts over the last couple of days where people were having to pull people out of ditches because it's really maybe been slicker in the last day or two than it has been the entire time, because early on we had snowpack. And you could actually drive on that pretty well. But in the last 3-4 days, it's been crazy. And because we're out of school today, and Mr. Josh Hinerman is my friend, I texted him yesterday and I said, what do you think about, since we're going to be out of, because I figured we would be out, because I knew we weren't getting warm enough yesterday to get everything melted. I said, I think a lot of people have questions and are curious about how you determine when we're going to be out of school. Because there's so often times we look out and we're like, well, the roads look fine, but they don't know what the back streets, they don't know what it looks like up on Hoods Branch Road and all these places that are treacherous, even on a good day, And so you put ice on them, a little bit of ice, and it can really be dangerous for our kiddos. How are you doing, Mr. Hinerman? Welcome. Jerry Shannon's here as well.
Morning.
Thank you guys for coming on in. So what say you? What do you do? We're out of school today. That's why I'm still wearing my Stormy Chromer. I said I will wear my Stormy until we go back to school. So anyway, so what do you think? What is the criteria that determined that we're out of school today?
Well, it's, excuse me, I don't know why I've had a little stage fright today.
Well, you can just say good morning. I didn't even say hi. I didn't even say hi.
That's right. So yesterday was a little different because we had ice on the roads. Normally we leave out at 12:30 in the morning, and my day would start with a phone call to the National Weather Service. We'd call the sheriff's department or the dispatcher because, hey, the deputies are out roaming the roads all night, so they can give you information without having to necessarily go touch physically every road.
Right.
And the weather service, when you call them in Nashville, they'll answer 24 hours a day, and they can give you specific details about your area. And so you make those two phone calls first, and then we start traveling. So there's folks in the office, my coordinators, they'll get up and go out and ride along with me. And, well, not with me, but we ride around in our vehicles and we start checking roads. We go to what we consider the most dangerous roads, like Herbert Shannon Road, or down here off of 431 by Hinkle Farm. You got that big hill. I can't think of the road there for the life of me, or Lahr Road or Burr Road, where you have spots that tend to get dangerous. And so we go to those hot spots first. But yesterday was such an anomaly because of the ice, couldn't even make it to the hot spots. Mm-hmm. We worked on that yesterday, but we couldn't even get to the hot spots because it was so slick. So either way, that's how we normally do it.
Is that y'all or me? I guess that's me making noise. I was trying to say, who's got noise going here? And they've got theirs muted. That was me, y'all. I was thinking it was them. So anyway, my apologies. That was distracting, Mr. Hinerman. So sorry about that.
It's all well.
Okay, go ahead.
So that's normally what we would do. And then, it takes a good 3 to 4 hours to survey the county. And we try to get pictures. Not always as easy early in the morning. And then we would get with the superintendent and make a recommendation. And then the superintendent has the ultimate decision on how they want to proceed. But I can say that in 22 years, I don't know that I've ever had a superintendent say no. Sometimes they push back and say, oh, we really need to be in school, that we're eating up all of our days. And I want parents to know that safety is our first and foremost concern when we go to make that determination. Mm-hmm. I want students to be at school as well. The entire department does, because we know that if they're not at school, some students aren't getting warm meals. Yeah, some students may not even be in a home that's got adequate heat. Or they may be with people that are mean to them. And so at least we know at school they're being taken care of. Right. So making that decision is not a light one. So if there's any way possible to be at school, we want to be on the road and picking up our students.
Well, now, when you talk about eating up our days, how many days do we have? And this is something we went over with Dr. Weeks, right? Because as he was here right after the school board meeting, we were looking ahead because this was coming. And I said, and I forget how many days he told me we have banked. Do you know?
I think it's 10, and so we would have 5
we
remaining.
would have 5 remaining because people forget last Monday was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Holiday, and so that was a scheduled holiday. So we only used 4, so this is the 5th one. So we can get them back in tomorrow. But we got, 44 degrees. Some of those icy roads you saw, they're pretty treacherous still. Do you?
It was scary.
I'm saying, I don't know. It's going to have to really, we need that rain tomorrow. I think will completely take care of it. But I'm a little happy, I don't know. I'm looking at it going, I don't know if we're going to get enough today, but maybe. Because I'm ready to get back to the kids, man. We got things to do.
We do.
Yeah. So.
And I would say, too, on days where we look at, like tomorrow, where we're not for sure, we'll get up early and go check the roads. And if we feel just that we need just a little more time to make a decision, we can always do a 2-hour delay.
Right.
That doesn't impact your snow days.
Right.
And it gives us time to make additional decisions and to see some of these road conditions in the light.
Gotcha.
Because it looks different. And a lot of times when we say we want to do a 2-hour delay, it's not necessarily that we can't drive in the dark. But when you're operating a school bus that weighs 36,000 pounds in the dark, it's so much easier to do that in the daytime. So if you do see, for instance, a black sheet of ice or a really slick spot in the road, you have time to react. And it would be easier to react to that during the daytime versus at night where you're just seeing reflections.
Gotcha.
Same way with flooding. When we start having flooding issues, we would go out and check roads. And then we can say, drivers, we want you to use your discretion when you start your routes. And if you feel like you can't get down a road safely, just radio us. And if we get any phone calls, we'll let the parents know we're not going to send a bus down. Most of the time, the parents know.
Yeah, the bus is already driving slow, so it's going to be delayed at least a little bit anyways.
Right.
We would say that on the radio that your schedule is secondary today.
Mm-hmm.
Safety is first.
Right.
So if you're 20 minutes late, as much as I hate that, we need them to be safe when they're on the road.
Yeah. So who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? And I'm speculating not Mr. Hinerman or Mr. Shannon here. I just want to make that clear because this is just teacher talk because we've been texting each other. Well, what do you think? What do you think? All this kind of stuff. So I love being a teacher. It's a lot of fun. But I'm ready to get back to the kids. I miss them. It's during the summer and the breaks and stuff and having to have a break so quick after spring break. I'm like, oh, come on. We got to get back at it. So we got things to do. I just think about all the things that are going on at our school and that everybody's like, I've got to get this done. But anyway, so Mr. Hinerman is here, Josh Hinerman. He is our director of transportation for Robertson County Schools, if you're not familiar with him. Jerry, you are the director of dispatch now, right? Coordinator for routing. I could not remember. I knew that you had switched over. So God bless you. That's a job.
Yeah.
I cannot, and the fact that you're local, you grew up here. I think that helps you tremendously, don't you?
So I've been here since 2006. I was born in Inglewood.
Okay.
And raised only until about 2005 we moved here. So I've been in Robertson County ever since then. So I have a pretty decent knowledge of the area, but obviously there's some of these roads where there's not even street names that it's difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
But the great thing is we have a lot of great technology that helps. And so.
Well, when they told me you had that job, I was like, that's a big job. I mean, that's
definitely a learning curve.
Trying to do all the routing and get all those kids and different things. And so God bless you. Good luck with that. Because when did you switch over to that?
Started officially January 1st.
Okay, so that's a new position. Yeah, thought so.
Learning a lot of new software and stuff, but
God bless you. We'll be praying for you.
Thank you.
You'll do great. But I think that local aspect that you grew up here, I think is a tremendous help. But and Mr. Hinerman, how long have you been our director of transportation?
I think 8 or 9 years now.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah.
It's been a few
Been
days.
a minute.
It's hard to believe when I look at that. 2014. So yeah.
Almost
10 years.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, guys, I tell you, we got a great team, and they take good care. The fact that you love what you do so much is evident, and you take really good care of our kiddos, and we appreciate that so much. And I hear so much in the classroom. You hear so much chatter about this is about the bus, and this and this and this. Just different things about my bus is going to be late, or it's going to be, anything like that. And the kids are very engaged in what happens with their bus and their bus drivers. And when they love their bus driver, and they talk about it. And it's a family on that bus. That group that rides that bus, that's a little family, And so I mean, it's something you got to take very seriously. But we appreciate you. So we're out of school today, guys. When will you run out and make the determination for tomorrow? About what time?
Today we may go out this afternoon, but I really feel like we're going to have to go out early in the morning and assess.
To be sure.
So
we may not get the final call on school tomorrow until tomorrow morning. So guys, tomorrow we're going to school. Just assume we're going to school, and we might get a delay. And, you've got to assume we're going to school. That's the thing. I saw where the news teams were calling, like the news teams in Nashville, the Channel 5s, Channel 4s, were calling the schools, and all the schools were telling them, we're assuming we're going to school. That's the question. It's never, okay, we've been out. Are we going to school? No, assume you're going to school and wait for the district to call it. So tomorrow, kiddos, teachers, we're going to school. Assume it. Some things could change. We could have a delay. They may have to call it. But with it going into the 40s today,
I thought I saw on the radio, or heard on the radio, because I don't watch the news like most folks. I'm pretty antiquated. But 46 was the high, and we've got rain according to the weather service coming in this evening, and then starting tomorrow, and that will help tremendously.
Yes.
The cold temperatures on the ground. So if the ground temperatures don't get above 30. That's a reason for us to have some alarm and concern as we go into tomorrow. But again, I think we'll have to assess that earlier in the morning.
Gotcha.
I don't know that it would be fair to make a guess this afternoon.
Oh, no.
I don't know that we can do it, because I think a lot of the roads are still going to have some ice on them this afternoon. But as we go into the morning, it will be different. And we don't mind getting up early and getting out and doing that. And we would want to, I know with Dr. Causey and with Dr. Weeks, they both liked having information by 4:30 or 5 in the morning. And so you make that phone call and say, this is what we recommend. And then they make a decision on how they want to do. But I'm grateful that we've never, in all of my years, I've ever been pressured. Yes, let's go. We may go back and forth, like with the wind we had last week. That was one of those days where we were, as a department, we were thinking, hey, it might be best. But then as you make those phone calls with the weather service and then emergency management here at the local level, we were like, we're going to be okay tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree. And my students were all, Miss Vivio, why are we not out? And I said, well, number one, I said, it's January. And I said, have you looked at what's coming next week? We do not I said, do you want to go to school till June? Because it is very early. And I've got a feeling. And I said this last week, mark me, I think we're going to have another episode of this. I don't think we're out of I believe that we're in for another big winter blast, because February is very often worse than January. And I think and I don't know that we'll be out a week, but I really think we're due for another winter blast. I've been in this region my entire life, and that's how it's very cyclical. We'll have like 3 or 4 bad winters, and then we'll have this, and it's about a 10-year cycle. And that's for the farm girl in me talking. And I learned this from my father. It's just, it will have several years that it'll be bad, and then it'll start getting milder, and then we'll cycle back around. And we're coming into, I think, a bad cycle. We started last year with the polar vortex, and I don't know that this has been a polar vortex. One of my kids was saying it was. I don't think it classed polar vortex this last time, but maybe, I don't know. I don't know.
Tennessee.
Do what?
It's just a lot for Tennessee.
Yeah, We're
not used to it.
Well, and that's one thing too. All the folks that have moved into this area, they're like, well, why don't they just plow the roads? Well, we don't have enough plows. And we don't. There's so many side roads, so many back roads. Yes, if they could knock the ice off of there yesterday, would be fine, but you just don't have enough manpower or equipment to get out and take care of all these roads. You just don't. And so a lot of them have been plowed, but some of them won't ever see a plow. They just won't. And so anyway, let me do my break and we'll come back. Anything else we need to say about weather issues?
I can't think of anything I was going to say with the plowing and whatnot of the roads. Southern states are not equipped like northern states to handle this. The buses up north would have chains on them and whatnot. And in their communities, they have a fleet of trucks that are designed to go do that. At our level, it would cost a small fortune to purchase equipment for very isolated events. And so it's much easier just to say, stay at home, do what's right. I was hearing on the news this morning, I think we've had 26 fatalities across the state as a result of this, and 32 incidents at the emergency room related directly to ice here in Robertson County. So just stay at home with your family. They generally forecast this pretty far out. So prepare yourself and enjoy the time with your family. We don't get enough of that.
That's true. And I mean, that's something that it's given me a little, I didn't, because of my mother's passing during Christmas, I was pretty exhausted when we got back to school. And so I needed a breath. And so it's kind of given me a chance to kind of catch my breath. And so I'm I'm thankful that I had that time. So, but I am ready to get back to school. Let's go ahead and let's talk. We'll come back and let's talk about Love the Bus and all of that and the things coming up on the backside of the break here. But I'm talking with Mr. Josh Hinerman. He is our Director of Transportation. Jerry Shannon's here, and he is the coordinator for dispatch. And I may have gotten that title somewhat wrong, but he is that's a new position for him. But we'll continue our conversation with him. And if you have questions for them, throw them up in comments, and I'll let them know what you have to say. But we're going to pause and talk about. Oh, and I do want to tell you, we do have Jamie Nixon coming in. I've been talking about having him come in. He has transformed his life. It is amazing. You're going to really find his story interesting. Good friend, and I'm just stunned at the difference in him. But I thought it was a really good visit to have as everybody's doing their resoluting for the new year. So we're going to hear from Jamie here in just a moment. But let's talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. Real estate needs. What do you need in real estate? Are you buying or are you selling? Do you want to be a realtor? Would you like somebody to mentor you into the real estate community? They're perfect. They both came out of other careers. She was in radiology, believe it or not, I think like 18 years ago, and went full-time. She saw the opportunity. I was talking to Rebecca about that. She said, when I started looking at what I wanted to do in real estate, I looked at the different opportunities within the real estate community. And she saw with Exit, they had just so many more benefits than, so she wouldn't be just kind of jumping out on her own. She knew it was a team that was going to help mentor her into what she wanted to do. And I mean, she's just rocked it. She's done excellent. She was doing so well. Barry, he was a vice president of a media marketing company. He's like, man, maybe I need to check into that, because he was already working with her, helping her. And he finally stepped away from his career about 5 years ago now and has been full-time. He is the broker for Exit Realty in Springfield. He's got an office on the downtown square. Rebecca's an agent out of White House. They're cross-Plainians. They've been there 28 years. They're one of us, so they specialize in Robertson County properties, but also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. You can Google them. You can go Barry Richards Exit Realty Garden Gate Team, Rebecca Richards Exit Realty Garden Gate Team. You're going to get independent web pages for both. They work together, but they're not a realty team. They're independent of each other. Like I said, he's a broker here in Springfield. She's an agent up in White House. Or you can just give Rebecca a call. Her number is 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. Always, please let our sponsors know that you're so they know they're at home. All right, we're talking all things school transportation this morning. That is a very hot topic because we're still out of school today. And yeah, the main roads look good. A lot of the major secondary roads look great. Living next to the wastewater plant, they take good care of us. Because I mean, that's a plus. I'm telling you. Everybody teases me about living next to the plant. I'm like, you should. They're awesome people, and and they take our power gets turned back on quicker. When you've got a utility next to you. I'm just saying. But yeah, they took care of our road a little bit quicker than they could the others because they had to. So. But some of these secondary roads we'll never see a plow because they just don't have time. So that's why we're still out of school today. Tomorrow, we'll see. We're going to school tomorrow. Assume, but get up in the morning and be ready for anything because things could change depending on the road conditions.
Watch your phone like you used to watch the TV. Watch the phone like you used to watch the TV.
That's right. They call us. They give us that phone call.
Bottom of the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, and look for that, and they're very good about getting us notified very quickly. So, all right, Mr. Hinerman, what's coming up? You got a special Love the Bus week, right?
So we do. So February is National Love the Bus Month.
Okay.
And so we hope to be doing something here in Robertson County to celebrate bus drivers. I don't know what that's going to look like yet, but we were selected. NAPT is going to feature 10 school systems around the nation, and I submitted a a letter of interest in that last week, and I got an email back and said you got one of the spots. So
nice.
I'm excited for us to be able to celebrate the yellow school bus. But the main goal of the event would be to show appreciation for the individuals who make the running of the school bus business successful. So that includes our bus drivers, our attendants, all the school transportation staff. So if you know one, it's our hope that you'll be able to do something special for them.
Okay.
You imagine our bus drivers move about 7,000 students twice a day. It takes them about 2.5, 3 hours, 2 times a day to do that. And so I hope that members of our community and our schools will do their part to celebrate the men and women who make this work possible.
Well, let me tell you that we do a little news feature now at our school at Greenbrier, because we have our WGHS, we call it. And so I want you to come in and let the kids interview you on the news desk. You want to do that?
I would. I didn't know you had that all set up.
Yeah. We'll have you come in. And maybe as quick as next week, because we're on top of February.
No pressure.
Oh, come on! But go and check out our little. I'll send you some samples of what we're doing, and that way you can kind of see the setup. But we've been doing these little news broadcasts, and but yeah, that's a perfect one. Absolutely, let's do that. I'll get on your schedule.
And it might be that we could share that with NAPT as
well. There you go.
Because they're going to, it's supposed to be in there. They have a magazine that they use, the Safe Ride magazine.
I think so.
It would be good publicity too.
Yeah. Well, and when I say next week, maybe we can do it this week, because we will be into February in a blink. So let me see what the schedule looks like when we get back to school tomorrow. We're hoping, optimistic. So what else you got for us? And
then I just wanted to talk about one thing that we're going to send out to our schools this Thursday, hopefully, or Friday when the update goes out, is the National School Bus Safety Poster Contest. So this is also something that's put on by...
We'll talk about that when you come in too.
NAPT. And so this year's theme is Driving Safely into the Future. And so they've got lots of different options. They even got a CAD option for high school students that might want to participate. So we're hoping that we'll get some entries and maybe get a few of these submitted to the national level, and maybe they'll win, because it shows on here that the first place prize is a $500 check.
Oh, there you go.
So we're hoping we'll get some kids involved in that process and to be excited about the yellow school bus.
What is the due date on that?
So they're due to us by April. So
well, you got a minute. Okay.
April 17th is when all of the posters are due to our office, and then we would submit it to the state director. So I'll probably have it come in a few days earlier so we can pick somebody that we think would be the winner. And then I don't know if there are any other counties doing this in Tennessee.
Okay.
So it'd be nice to see maybe a Tennessee person get selected.
Well, and I'll tell you, we've got a graphics program, graphics design program up at Springfield. It's part of CTE that maybe they could tap in, and all the art classes. I've got one young man, James Brotherton, that's been making posters for me. I'll task him on it. I'll be like, here you go. So, cause he's been doing, he came in, and we've got, the programs that we have on our computer, and that's one he just kind of was drawn to. So there's students that come to mind just right now, and programs where this is perfect for them. So but we can talk about that when you come in.
Well, immediately I thought about Owen, the kid that came recently.
Oh yeah, we had a kid come from Heritage High that came, and he loves the yellow school bus, and he asked if he could come and interview. And so we spent several hours together. It's been a week or so ago. And so he got to learn all things about the yellow school bus.
About some of the school bus stuff.
That's hysterical.
His knowledge.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
His knowledge of the yellow school bus is quite profound.
I saw that on social media, and knowing how much you loved it, young, I thought, well, Mr. Hinerman's got a mini me.
I loved it. I showed him a picture of my mentor when I was young, and I was like, look at that. I said, this guy interviewed him when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And when I turned 21, he picked up the phone and said, do you want to still be a bus driver? You interviewed me when you wrote this paper on the school bus. And I was like, because he asked for my phone number that day.
That's great.
And that's how I got into the business.
That's the first thing I thought of when I saw that. I thought, that sounds just like Mr. Hinerman's story. Yeah. So very good. I love it. So anything else that we want to cover before we wrap up? Finish up our time.
I think we're doing think that's it for today, other than we still need some bus drivers. And,
okay. Always hiring, guys.
$23.50. So if you're interested.
Man, that's good pay, y'all.
Y'all come
for
drive
a part-time gig. That's what people do not realize. That is a very nice paying gig that can be part-time. You can work into a full-time situation if you were to so desire. Cannot say enough about it. Guys, I drove a bus when my kids were in school. It is fun, number one, once you figure out that those things are not that intimidating to drive. But I have a story where I had to take somebody to get their license up in Nashville, up there just off Ellington. I can't remember the testing center.
Harts
there.
Lane.
Yeah, Harts Lane. Yeah. And we got in the situation, and I ended up having to get in that thing and back it up and turn and back it. I mean, it was like a snake. I got pinned in somewhere. I did it because I used my mirrors and I got it done. It was a big bus too. It was one of the big ones. And you can do this, guys. You can do it. So what do they need to do if they're interested in being a part-time school bus driver?
So they'd apply at the Robertson County School website, just www.rcstn.net.
Okay.
And at the top, there's a little quick links, and it'll say employment opportunities, and you submit your application that way. I always encourage folks to make a phone call. Our application process, a lot of times you apply or you submit an application or you fill out an application, but you don't apply for a job. People forget to do that. It's not, because it is a tricky, the way our application is set up. You fill out everything and you think, oh, great, I've done what I need to. But then you got to remember to go back and then hit apply for jobs.
Okay.
But once you do that, we'll help you with that, and we'll help you get through the licensure process. And we've got a trainer now in the office that can sit down with you to get through all the, what I call the theory material, which is not as, it's complicated sometimes. It's overwhelming, especially the general knowledge aspect and the air brakes. That overwhelms folks.
Right.
But
what
there
about
are people there to help you.
What about a bus attendance? What is that? The same process? Is that on there as well?
It is.
Okay.
And we do need bus attendants.
What is the age on that?
They can be 18 and be a bus attendant.
So if it's a high school student and they've already turned 18, is that something they can do?
I think they have to have their high school diploma.
Okay. I've been curious as to why we couldn't use some of our teens in that regard.
Yeah, I recommended thinking about doing maybe like a, what was that program or something where they could get extra credit, or they could get some kind of like volunteer hours
to come on and help with the bus. That's always, I was kind of wondering if we couldn't utilize some of our high school kids.
At least on the elementary runs, I think it would really help.
I think there are some parents who would probably push back. And just over the years, I know we've had bus drivers that have allowed their students to help them with the monitoring of other students. And well, when you're still in school, I can see the conflict of interest.
Gotcha.
It's much different when you're an adult.
I gotcha. Well, just go to the Robertson County website and put in the criteria to look up the buses and apply for those jobs, guys. You'll have fun, and it's very high-paying. Teachers, if you're a teacher that can do that, it's a great gig for teachers as well. Any parting thoughts as we're finishing up, gentlemen?
Just love the support of our schools and the teachers. And
you have a comment that you need to?
Yeah,
go ahead. What have you got there?
Dr. Tucker on there, hands down the best transportation department. We appreciate the school admins.
Very good.
Our followers on here today.
Oh, yeah, let me see what we got here. I'm trying to
3, I think. Which is a lot.
There we go. Well, and this one thing about our show is it gets people watch it later. So there's a lot. Oh my gosh, there's tons of stuff on here. I didn't see those. But what is a part-time? What are part-time hour options for bus drivers? What are part-time hour options? Let's address that real quick.
So you could work. So we have folks that we would work with you for flexibility. If you could only do afternoons, then you would come in 1:30 or so and work till 4:30 or 5. And then you would, if you did the morning option, you could come in at 5:45 or so and get done around 8:30.
Even just
depending on the route. And substitute driving, if you don't mind doing that. We have bus attendants on most of our buses. We use technology to help navigate buses. So it's not like driving a bus back when you were driving or when I started driving, where it was all on the driver.
Right.
You know, we have a lot of buses with attendants, and so the attendants manage students. The drivers get to do what they're supposed to do, which is drive.
Right.
That makes life a lot easier. Even if you had to sub, the attendants most of the time, not going to say always, but most of the times can come up there and tell you where to go.
Right.
And that makes life a lot easier.
Very good.
You're not as stressed.
I gotcha. It's a good gig,
We want you
guys.
to love driving the bus.
We want you to love the bus. And I'll talk to you about getting you on the schedule during Love the Bus month.
I know. I just didn't. Did not realize you had that up and going.
We'll hook you up. We'll get you. Thank you so much, Jerry Shannon and Mr. Josh Hinerman, Director of Transportation. And Jerry's the guy you're going to talk to if you're trying to get all the coordination and the routing done. We got
email me.
Yeah, there you go. And what's your email real quick? I got Jamie standing out there.
Jerry.Shannon@rcstn.net. Just email me if you have routing or questions, and I'll take care of it from there.
Awesome. Thank you, gentlemen.
Many blessings.
Wrap it up. God bless y'all. Be safe on those roads. They're slick out there, guys. We're going to let them make the switch. And as they're doing that, I'm going to talk about my friends at Cumberland Connect. Cumberland Connect. Just love Cumberland Connect. It is so nice to have high-speed internet after having nothing. We've talked about the technology issues in the studio here because they can't get Cumberland Connect here, and so we have connectivity issues. That's why I didn't see my comments there for a minute, and then all of a sudden they just populated. But I got to tell you, there is so much to be said for being able to get high-speed internet. And if you're a Cumberland Electric customer, you are going to have access. Now, not everybody has access just yet, but we're getting there. Senator Kerry Roberts now has access. He hasn't turned it on, I don't think. Well, they're in session. They went in session last week, and we're working on getting him in studio. If you need to, Jamie, you can open that door and do whatever you need to do to set that up. But we'll get a full update from the senator ASAP because we know that he is working really hard right now. But he does have access, but not everybody. I checked with him a couple of weeks ago. We're getting super close. But if you are a Cumberland Electric customer, you are going to have access to high-speed internet. You can get a gig for $80. Everybody I seem to know is a member of the gig club. Now, if that seems like a lot and you're struggling financially and it's like, I need internet, but I just can't afford it, they have an affordable connectivity program because it is a utility that will provide up to $30 per month for qualifying households. And if you qualify, they have got packages, again, that start at just $30 per month. You could have free internet if you qualify financially. If you have questions, call them 800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362, or you can go online to cumberlandconnect.org, cumberlandconnect.org. And please, cannot say this enough, you got to let them know that you told them so they know that you're working. Right, Jamie? That's a big thing, man.
That's huge.
You gotta know.
You gotta have that return on investment.
Nixon's in the house. Do you even recognize this man? Nixon Pro Media. I am so impressed with you, young man. My goodness. Oh my gosh. You look, at least 10 years younger. Maybe even 15 or 20. It's
Clip this right here on your little metal thing right up there.
Got it. He's doing his own little miking thing. And do you have an Android or an iPhone?
I have an iPhone.
When my iPhone updated last time, it quit taking on my line feeds, my iRigs, my Movo. It's like, so that's we're set up differently, but yes, that's wonderful. He's doing his own little video thing because that's what he does. Nixon Pro Media. That's their thing. So he's doing his own thing because, oh my gosh, what happened with you? How much have you lost? How much weight have you lost?
80 pounds.
Oh, I told somebody the other day, I said, I think it's close to 100.
Yeah.
Because the transformation is extraordinary. It's extraordinary.
I don't think I'm going to get to 100. And that's not my goal.
And you're fit now.
Yeah. And my goal was, people ask me at the very beginning, what is my goal? And my goal was to be healthy.
There you go. Absolutely.
Because I was unhealthy.
Right.
Unhealthy. And, and I probably should have learned this 2 years ago when, I don't know if you know this, but I was in the hospital for about 15 days with COVID, had it 10 days beforehand. And
I did not.
And the wonderful people of North Crest, kudos, they saved my life.
Wow. I had no idea you had something like that.
Oh, yeah, definitely had a night there that I remember the doctor telling me the next morning and said, we almost lost you. We almost had to put you on the ventilator. And he told me if they had,
that's pretty much a death sentence.
That I wouldn't have come back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, lost a little, this is my second time really losing a substantial amount of weight. First time I did it just by starving myself.
Okay.
And that was not sustainable.
No fun.
Well, and it was also not something you could sustain over a long period of time.
Right.
So, this time around, it was May 24th. Last year was my 50th birthday.
Okay.
Hit me a little different. I realized unless I live to be 101, that I've lived over half my life. Mm-hmm. I have my uncle, my father, and my grandfather all died before they were 60.
Oh, wow.
So, and my grandfather was fit as a fiddle. You know, he worked at DuPont plant down Old Hickory, died at work, just bebopping along and died. So those kind of things are in the back of your mind. Mm-hmm. And so then when you're realizing, okay, well, is it genetics? You start thinking, okay, do I only have 10 years left? And so I was playing basketball, tore my meniscus, and the doctor said basically I was going to have to lose some weight or I was going to have some trouble walking. They didn't want to have surgery because the rest of my knee looked so great. The ACL looked great. MCL looked great. He's like, you know, to be a 50-year-old man who played college basketball, high school basketball, both knees looked really good. They didn't want to go in there and start messing with anything because they was afraid about that. They said, you know, I had two different opinions, and they both said that sometimes it happens where arthritis sets in because we went around and just started messing with it. So the doctor said, let's treat it. Let's get the inflammation down and let's try to lose some weight. I was doing social media for Fitness 1440 there in White House, brand new gym. By the way, if you're looking for a gym, super clean, brand new equipment. It's just an incredible place. So my hat's off to.
I've seen video. It's beautiful.
Yeah, John McAllister. Yeah. John McAllister, the owner of Jim, has. It's funny. Me and John were connected in so many ways. My oldest brother was a junior pro football coach of his, and we didn't know any of this until we got to talking. But we become really good friends. Mm-hmm. And John trains. You know, he trains a lot. Trains professionally and competitively, and you know, he took me right in. I was doing his social media, and I was doing his social media because a couple people that work out the gym told him, hey, you should call this guy. You should call this guy. And so it was just word of mouth, and just how everything, you know, when things come together organically, that's when the best things happen.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when you don't force anything and it just happens naturally.
God kind of puts it together.
100%. 100%. And so, you know, me and John's become really good friends, and just through the gym, you know, I just, through John, I met Clint Norris with at Norris Bodies. If you want to look him up on Instagram, it's Norris Bodies with a Z. He's there in Golisville. He's a competitive bodybuilder, but he's also a trainer, nutritionist. Got my blood work, and formed a diet around my blood work, and, you know, formed a workout plan around my age and what I wanted to be in my accomplishments. And, you know, my hat is off to Clint. My hat is off to John, you know, because you can go to the gym all you want to, mm-hmm. but you can't outwork a bad diet.
I'm so glad you said that, because that was going to be a question I was going to pose, is how important is the diet along with the workout? And this is an argument my husband and I have.
Well, I'm personally, this is what I'm going to tell you. Yeah. Number one's diet.
Yeah.
Number two is cardio.
Okay.
Number three is the weightlifting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to be, you know, there's people, of course, that are lifting heavier than me, lifting more than me. They're more muscular than me. My thing was that I needed to get the weight down. I needed to get some stress off my heart.
Yeah.
I needed to get blood pressure down, which, by the way, I cut my blood pressure medicine last month to a half of a dose that I had been using. And then now, I think last week I posted I was off of it completely for 5 days.
Yeah.
And it was 117 over 82. Mm-hmm. And so I'm looking forward to going back this Friday, yeah. and seeing where we're at after 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So that is that's a huge thing.
I'm so proud of you. I mean, I had seen it pop up on social media, and I've been like, "When are you gonna come in and talk?" And you're like, "I'm in the gym until 7 o'clock every."
I'm at the gym from 4:30 to 7:15 every morning.
Well, and I think we don't hear that people and think, "Well, I can't do that."
Yeah, because I'm helping people.
Yeah, and it's a different. You have to figure out what's going to work with your life. Mm-hmm. My husband and I, something we really need to do is swim, and I have been looking for a swim spa for 5 years. I bought one this weekend, and it's being delivered today. And the reason why is because I'm a swimmer, and I know that's going to be the key to my fitness.
Now, is that one of those things where it's like it's really short and it's like you're swimming because the current's coming
against it? You have, yeah.
I've seen those. Those are pretty neat.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. And yep. I've been shopping for one for 5 years, and we finally, you know, took the plunge, so to speak. And because it's something I know is critical. And here's one thing too, the guy who sold it to me told me, he said, you can probably get a deduction on your taxes for this because it is such a health thing. It is a therapy thing for us. And so there are those kinds of things. But you need to find what will work for you. And I've always known swimming is key for me. I don't have time to go to a gym. I don't have time to go to the Y. I just don't. Yeah. And so I knew this is something I needed to invest in. And
I think there's people, I think there's people like you. There's people like me. And there's different walks of life. Yes, we're all super busy. And I'm not saying that you're wrong. Yeah. I'm saying I used to say the same thing that you did. Gotcha. I say I'm too busy. I'm too busy. I'm working. I got this, this. Then I started evaluating my time. I was like, wait a second. 9:30 to midnight, I'm watching Netflix or I'm editing a video of work, something I should have done earlier, that I put off, So I started evaluating my day. And I was like, if I go to bed at 9:30, I can get up at 4. I can go to the gym and I can watch Netflix on the treadmill.
There you go.
Now, I'm the person who's not going to work out at home. Yeah. I mean, I've had my heavy bag at home. I've had some weights at home. Man, I'm not going to go down there and do that. Yeah. And so to me, it's a mindset. And the other thing is this is like, just to walk you through my normal morning, alarm clock goes off 3:30ish. Hardest part of the workout, feet to the floor.
Yeah. True.
And I say that to myself now. My son actually told me this morning. I thought I was saying this way before my son ever said this to me. My son works out with me 3 days a week as well, Andrew. And he said, hey, I'm tired of you taking my phrases and using them. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, I told you. He's like, man, like in the mornings, putting my feet to the floor is like, And I was like, I think I was saying that before you said it. He's like, I don't know. So anyways, so we'll have to agree to disagree.
That's the hardest part of the workout. And he's like wanting credit for it. I love it. That's
and cute. So, but I lay there in bed, and I just said, here it is, Jamie. Put your feet on the floor. Because once I put my feet on the floor, once I raise up out of bed, I never lay back down. Yeah. I go ahead and get up. And I think there's been, in the last 8 months, there's been 3 or 4 days where I've just said, where I've listened to my body, to be honest with you. The alarm comes on, I'm like, nope, not today. Yeah. And then last Friday, actually, I listened to my wife because the alarm went off. And all last week, I just basically said, I'm not going in early in the morning because of the weather. Right. I'll just catch it later. And I was still in the gym around 8-ish almost. Right. But Friday, I wanted to get back into the swing. Yeah. And the alarm went off. And my wife, Anna, said, roads are too bad. Go back to sleep. I was like, okay.
Sure. Talk me into it.
Yeah. So...
they were pretty treacherous.
But this morning, this morning I was right back there. My normal.
Good for you.
I wake up. I get to the gym around 4:15. I go in there, and since I do the marketing, I have a key there. And what's really cool is that there's a lot of people that have the higher level membership that they get because 1440 has compression room, sauna, and cold tub.
Wow.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah.
So, but those areas are only open during staff times. So John, being the smart business guy he is, he said, dude, if you're going to be here, you can have a key. I can let people in. While I'm working out, I'm actually capturing content a lot of mornings, And so I get there, I go right in, I turn the sauna on, I stretch, I go do, 20, 25 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes of cardio, letting that sauna heat up. Yeah. Then I go sit in the sauna for about 20, 25 minutes, come out, lift weights, come back. I'll either sit in the sauna again, or I'll do a little bit more cardio, whichever one I do first, and I actually do the other one after that. Uh-huh. So I get a second round of cardio, second round of the sauna, and then I do the 40-degree water for 10 minutes. Right. Which is coming off COVID. Like I had the COVID brain fog that everybody talked about. I had the memory challenges, and I can tell you it works for me. It definitely has made me sharper. Mm-hmm. My sleep is way better. My recovery from working out is incredible. And I do the cold tub. I mean, there's so much science. Like, I'm not going to sit here and like, what I don't want to do is like so many different people have different opinions. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, hey, I don't know. I said, mm-hmm. I look up the science about what it does. Mm-hmm. I do my cold tub after my workouts. I'm 80 pounds down.
There you go.
I mean, so
speaks for itself.
I mean, so I'm just saying, some people like to do it beforehand. I try to do it beforehand. I can never get my body temperature back up. I can never get to that to that heart rate. I couldn't get my heart rate to that 120, 130 where I'm burning fat on the treadmill and things like that. So I just consistently now, and when I sit in the cold tub, I sit in the tank up to about my armpits. And then the day after I do shoulders or something like that, or do arms, then I might go all the way in. But I usually keep my hands out. My hands are just, I'm freezing right now because I just got from the gym. And when it's colder outside than it wasn't even in the cold tub, the inside of your body is, So,
core temperature is.
I've got to keep my head out and my hands out. I can't. I've seen other guys just go completely in, and I'm like, I mean, so, but it is it's a time in your life where you decide, and I'm speaking to anybody out there right now. It's like, there's a time in your life that you decide what's going to win.
Yep.
And it's kind of like that old, there's an old Cherokee tale, and I think the Native Americans are so spiritual.
Oh,
deep. Huge, and so many of their things, and probably for years they didn't know about Jesus, until we probably brought it over here for them. But they already knew that there was a God.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
And they had the story about the wolves. Have you ever heard that story about the two wolves?
Maybe, but go ahead and tell.
Okay, so a lot of people, it's an old Cherokee tale, and it's a grandfather. He's sitting there, he's telling his grandson about, hey, everybody battles the two wolves, and there's one wolf who is evil, and it's got, anger and bitterness and greed and, and all those things. And there's another wolf that is joy and faith and humanity and encouragement, and just all those attributes. And he's sitting there and he goes, and the grandfather's telling the grandson, he's like, that there's a war going on. There's two wolves fighting inside of me. And, and the grandson's sitting there and he goes, well, and he even tells him, he goes, that battle's going on inside of you. Mm-hmm. It's going inside of everybody. And he said, well, which wolf wins? And the one you feed the most.
That's right.
The one you feed the most. And so I think there's times where and this has everything, not just your fitness. I mean, it comes back to a warrior mentality. And when I say a warrior mentality, I'm not talking about a necessarily a warrior, a fighter. I'm talking about somebody who's going to stand up for what we believe in. Mm-hmm. And, and I know we could get on a rabbit hole right now.
Oh, we could. I'm thinking all kinds of Jesus stuff,
about how
Bible study stuff.
Yes, 100% how we have just, warrior coward. I mean, that's, how many times have we said, I'm not going to say that today, or that's not a hill that I want to die on today, and then and when we let things slide, it becomes easier to let more things slide.
Oh yeah. That slippery slope.
And so when you continue to let things slide in your life, and then, and fortunately I've just got to a point now where like, my fitness, my health was not something I was willing to let slide anymore. Mm-hmm. And it's either I take back control over it, stop making excuses, and I push forward. And the wolf that wins is the one we feed the most. And I'm focusing on right now of trying, the wolf that I'm feeding the most is that one of, hey, I got this. That I gotta watch what I say sometimes, but growing up, you'll know this. We're competitors, right?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
It was easy for me to compete in basketball when I knew I had somebody to focus on. I'll just say this. I played for East Robertson. Our rival was Joe Burns. It didn't matter who you were. If you play for Joe Burns, you were the enemy to me. Okay.
Yeah. But that's just part of it.
But it's part of it. So that was enough for me to battle. Right. Mm-hmm. It became harder later on in life without an enemy.
Yeah. No, identifying the adversary.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm going to say this, and this is just me. My enemy is Fat Jamie. Because I know he's still waiting there ready to devour me.
Yeah.
And I don't like him.
Yeah.
I don't like who I was. I don't like how I felt. I don't like, I took back control instead of saying, oh, it's okay to go get that cheeseburger. Oh, it's okay to go do this. Okay, it's okay, I don't have to go to the gym. Oh, I don't have time, or I'm too sore. No one, and Clint Norris told me this, and no one has ever said, you know what, I shouldn't have went to the gym today. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't have worked out today. Mm-hmm. But how many times have you said, man, I should have got my butt in the gym? Mm-hmm. And 1440's got some trainers, there like that. I bring these guys up. Jeff Caldwell, give him a shout out. He's moved here. He's a transplant from California. He's a great guy. He's not, I know he came here from California, but he's a great guy. And
I got a lot of California friends.
And man, he is kicking butt there. Like if you have no clue what to do in the gym, like 1440 giving you a 7-day trial, and you get a free workout with him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you get to come in, personal trainer. I'm talking, this guy out in Hollywood, he was training actors and stuff. I mean, like, oh, wow. When you look at Jeff is ripped up. Jeff knows his stuff.
Okay.
And, so shout out to him, shout out to, like I said, to Clint and 1440, but the thing that I'm doing, and it was really funny because I posted some pictures just last week, and it was
astounding, the difference. Oh my God.
And it was crazy the support I got, but then also some people saying some negative things. Like some people say, okay, bro, we get it. You go to the gym. Oh, somebody said, look at me, Jamie. Hey, that's a bad look. And I'm saying, and I say that, and some people have asked me who it was, and I was like, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Some people say, well, just block them on social media. I'm like, no, I'm not blocking them.
Yeah.
They can block me, but my thing is that is like I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, because in the last 4 days, I've just had so many, and I don't. There are some women that reach out and stuff like that to ask, hey, what are you doing? But mostly it's guys, and I can only speak from a guy's perspective. I don't know the answers. I'm not a certified trainer. I got a plan, and I said, I don't know. So I'm going to follow the guy that's got the degree. I'm going to follow this guy who looks like he was carved out of stone. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to be a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to follow somebody, might as well follow somebody who's taking it all the way as far as you can take it, kind of thing. And I can't eat all the food he wants me to eat. I have to eat 5 times a day. I eat good food. I eat grilled chicken. I eat grilled fish. I eat sirloin steak. I eat 200 grams of baked potato. I eat rice. I eat broccoli. I don't eat fries. I don't eat, I don't eat waffles and pancakes and I'm still eating scrambled eggs. I get protein in sausage. I still eat some really good stuff. Mm-hmm. Just, no bad carbs, no sugar, pretty much no sugar.
That's one thing I wanted to kind of see. What is your diet? What are the things that you're kind of
wake up away
from?
Well, wake up in the morning. I do a fasted cardio. So that means I haven't ate all night. So I've been fasting. So I get up and I go and I do my cardio, and then I do my workout. So it means you're burning fat right off the bat.
So you're not eating until after your workout.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. And then it's gluten-free oats, blueberries, some types of fruit, and then scrambled eggs, or just that protein. Mm-hmm. I'm getting 40 grams of protein, like with a protein shake or something like that right after every workout. I'm usually getting a little bit over my body weight right now in protein. My calories, we just up my calories because, without a calorie deficit diet, if you're not burning calories, if you're not burning more out than it's coming in, you're not going to lose weight either. That's all science behind it. But I had to,
math.
It's 100% math and it's science. Yeah. And I had to find something that worked for my body. Mm-hmm. And it's been working. And I just tell people all the time, it's like, hey, I don't know the answers, but I'll tell you this, you're not going to get it by just hoping that it would.
No.
There was 2 or 3 guys that I had 20-minute phone calls with them all day yesterday and said, hey, if you want to come to the gym, I'll be at the gym. Mm-hmm. I'll be there. I'll be accountable for you. I'll support you. One guy's like, man, I told him, I said, come work out with me. He goes, I don't want to die. And I was like, listen, that was one of my things. I said, how many times have we went to the gym? And guys do this all the time. We get in the gym and we want to be macho, and you want to get on the bench press and then the next day you're like, can't even move my arms. then you don't go to the gym for the next 3 days.
Right.
And so being sore is not what I want to do. I want to spend time in the gym and burn fat and, and then leaving the gym, I just feel like the rest of the day is just, I've already done the hardest part of my day.
Yeah.
There's nothing really I can't conquer.
Yeah.
Throughout the rest of the day.
I love that. That's a great concept too. And as you're talking, and we're going to be out of time here in a minute. I got my ads done before we got into the show because I knew I wanted to just talk right through with you. But that's the thing. Everything that he's saying might not be your fit, but find what works for you. I've lost weight. I've kept most of my weight off from when I lost it 10 years ago, but I'm up 10, 15 pounds from where I want to be. And so I'm figuring out what I need to do. I know what's worked for me in the past and calories. Guys, people say, I don't want to count calories. You've got to burn more than you take in, and then you've got to burn your surplus. It's just math. And I had, we did the thing we had the Biggest Loser show come in and do a family thing with us one summer. And we were part of that. And Jillian Michaels, she goes, calories in, calories out. It's math. And I'll never forget it, But
common sense too.
Yes.
You can sit there and look at, okay, do I need to eat these fried chicken or do I need to eat grilled chicken?
There you go.
Do I need to eat French fries or do I need to eat rice?
Yeah.
Do I need to eat, do I need, all this fried food and all this sugar and all that, the craziest, I'll tell the story really quick. So I started the diet on May 26th.
Okay.
And I'm going over to my buddy Matt Stewart's house on July 4th. And Matt's our youth pastor at our church. Matt played football Mount Juliet at UT Martin. He's about 6'4", great looking dude, buff guy. Mm-hmm. But he works out so hard in the gym. He's one of those guys, he can eat whatever he wants to half time, So anyways, July 4th, we're having cookout over his house, everything like that. And I called Clint. I called my trainer. I said, hey, is there any grace to this diet? He said, what are you talking about? I said, I don't want to take these prep meals over to my buddy's house on July 4th. Everybody's going to be out there. They're going to be, And I said, I know there's not going to be anything there for me to eat. And he goes, just use your cheat meal. I said, what cheat meal?
Yeah.
And he goes, every week you get a cheat meal. I was like, Clint,
you didn't tell me that.
You never mentioned it. It wasn't in the email. And he goes, you've been going since May 26th to now July the 4th and have not taken any cheat meals? I was like, no, I have followed your words verbatim. And he goes, go eat whatever you want.
Yeah. It's a cheat meal.
Yeah. Well, he told me that. He goes, dude, just go eat whatever you want. And, and so, and that was, that was kind of funny because I kind of hold that on him. Sometimes I was like, yeah, that'd been nice if you let me know, but it really, I went straight in. I dove straight in the deep end and, And I think sometimes that's what people can't do or don't do. We're at 8 months, and it really seems like May the 26th was like just last month.
I'm so proud of you.
It really.
Friend. I'm so proud of you. When I saw you, because I'd been watching you on social media and stuff, and I thought, oh man, he looks great. And then I saw you at East Robertson. Face to face. I was like, oh, it's just the transformation's amazing. And it's inspiring because I know that I'm 61. I'm 61. And my husband was, I've got on this is his university that he played football. Outstanding athlete, but he's got to get back in shape and he knows it and he's trying. And we just got to refocus. We got to find what works for us and we just got to do it, y'all. You just got to use the D word and you got to do it. Right.
Yep. And then one other thing, discipline and commitment.
Yep.
And if you're a guy or you're a guy out there, hey, be supportive of your fellow man.
Yeah.
That's the one thing is just like, just the support that you get, the support that I've gotten has just been incredible from the people. I'm no longer care what anybody, if I'm not going to take advice from you, I'm not going to listen to criticism from you either.
Amen.
And that's something that we all, words sting a little bit more, and it's kind of funny. It's the whole negative, positive thing. Speaking of which, me and Donnie Eden and Rachel Allison are the owners of Stay Positive News, which we would love. We would love for Rachel for Rachel come on and do some Stay Positive News stuff with you.
Yes.
But this is, all of this is what you do all the time is all about positivity as well, and so we just want to, and we just have to be positive towards our fellow person. and just block out that negativity. So it's so hard sometimes blocking out that negativity, but that's another one of those wolves. Negativity is that
what are you going to feed?
Is that evil wolf. So are you going to feed the positive vibes or that negative vibe? And, you know, I wish I'd really concentrate on that before I turned 50.
I love it. Well, I'm the same way. And I'll tell you, if you want to be everything that God's called you to be, you need to get this fixed, because if you're you know, carrying too much weight, you're eating terrible, you don't feel good, you can't do the things he puts in your path to do. And I think that's one of the big things from a Jesus perspective. You need to take care of what God's given you so you can really be effective when he puts things in your path. Parting thoughts, Jamie. We're out of time. We're a little over time. Tell them how to get in touch with you for Nixon Pro Media, Stay Positive News, do all the things.
All that, just really quick, at Nixon Pro, just look it up on Facebook, at Nixon Pro Media on Instagram. If you just want to hit me up there, you can also look up Jamie Nixon. And then if you want to contact me, I'll tell you all about the gym, all about Norse Bodies, all about Stay Positive News. But hey, thank you for having me on.
Oh, it was such a pleasure. And I appreciate you so much. And again, very inspiring. Perfect. As we're continuing on to Soaring 24. That's something Lee Marie's been.
That's awesome.
I love
like
it. Soaring 24. You can do it, guys. Thank you for joining us. This is, again, 1100 WSGI. Tomorrow we will hear from Mayor Billy Vogel will be in the house. I've already confirmed it, so we're getting back on track, getting back into our schedule. Snow days, almost over. You got one more today. Going to school tomorrow, you guys. Come on, let's go. This is, again, 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a fabulous day.
I trust in